Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This video is about Nessus Vulnerability Scanner. You must learn about Vulnerability Scanner as a pen tester or cybersecurity professional. Pen tester can use, vulnerability scanners to identify vulnerabilities in a system or network. While pen testers are skilled at doing their manual work to identify vulnerabilities, Vulnerability scanners, on the other hand, can automate the process and provide a comprehensive list of potential security issues. Now, this can save you time and increase the efficiency of the testing process. I have covered in my channel OpenVAS and Nikto security vulnerability scanners. As OpenVAS is just a free open source network security scanner, while Nikto is a free and open source web server. Now, what is Nessus Vulnerability Scanner? First of all, this is a proprietary vulnerability scanner and security assessment tool developed by Tenable Network Security. It is designed to identify non-security vulnerabilities in computer system, networks, and applications. Now, Nessus scans, the whole organization network and help you to identify any potential security issues, like misconfigured systems, known vulnerabilities, and even outdated software. Nessus uses multiple or various methods to identify these issues, including, like vulnerability scanning, credential scans, and port scanning. Nessus is highly configurable and you could customize it to meet your specific needs because it has large number of options and plugins that can be used to fine tune its scanning capabilities and generate detailed reports on detected vulnerabilities. Now, another good thing is that Nessus includes compliance monitoring and configuration auditing feature, but this is a paid one. In this video, I'll discuss the installation process and the scan options. Now, first of all, this is, if you look at the main web page, you'll find Nessus Expert and Nessus Professional. We're not going to bother with these because these are paid subscriptions and paid software, actually. Instead, we're going to go to Nessus Essential here by typing this website, product Nessus Essential. And then you type any name you want, test, test, for example, any email, okay? And the reason why you need this email, so you could receive, okay, gmail.com. So you could receive the activation key. Now, you click on the download here, and you're supposed to select the latest subscription or the latest version, sorry, of it. So 10.5.0, and then the platform. In my case, because I'm using Mac OS, so this is the only option. And here you could download it, and then you could follow the steps. Okay, follow the steps until you enter the key received in your email. There's another option. You could use virtual machines here. Okay, and then you take you to here to this option, like Tenable Core Nessus, okay? And what hardware requirements if you want to run it into a virtual machine mode like CPU 4 or some other options. The installation, as I said, is a straightforward. It's not really complicated. Once you're done with this, you will have a screen like this one over here where you could type in the username and the password. You configure it at the beginning. Now, once the installation process has been completed, you just type the admin and you type the password you created. And this will take you to this screen. Then you click on the new scan. And here you will have a bunch of templates. Those one you can always access them. Here at the bottom, those are the compliance, and that's where you need to pay money to buy them, to have access to. Now, the first one here, we have the host discovery. Okay, and in the host discovery, basically Nessus scan aims to identify all hosts on a given network. This is the first step in any vulnerability assessment by Nessus, or or by to identify all systems that need to be scanned for potential vulnerabilities. Now, in this template, Nessus uses various techniques for host discovery, such as ICMP ping, TCP ping, uh, ARP ping, and even DNS resolution, including more advanced techniques, like SYN and UDP scanning. Now, the second one here, we have the basic network scan. That's a full system scan suitable for any host. Now, this is simple and quick scan that assess the security of the network using a predefined set of checks. This type of scan will provide you a high-level overview of the security posture of the network and can be relatively quick and fast to do that. That's a good thing to do, like, for a routine checks. The advanced scan over here is more comprehensive scan that assesses the security of the network using different types of techniques. Advanced scans are more time consuming and resource intensive than basic scans, but they provide a more detailed and accurate assessment of your network's status. It includes more advanced technique, such as credential scanning, you know, this is important because it involves logging into a system to assess its security position from the inside. Like as a user logged into the system, how much the user can do from inside. This approach can identify vulnerabilities that may not be visible from the outside and provides more accurate view of the security of the network. Now, there's also another option, like if you want to do malware scan for Windows and Unix machine, do some dynamic scan. And then here, the third one is the web application test. Now, that's a very important feature in Nessus because it uses a combination of manual and automated techniques for testing to identify the potential vulnerabilities and security in many different type of web application, which can include like, the common web application vulnerabilities, such as SQL injection attacks, cross-site scripting attacks, cross-site request forgery attacks, and file inclusion vulnerability. Now, before we start, okay, we are going to describe several of these templates, but not all of them, because it will take so much time to do so. Now, in the new scan, we're going to start with the host discovery. But before I proceed, I want to create a folder, call it host discovery. Okay, and you should see it right here. So I'm going to go inside the host discovery, create a new scan, host discovery. The name, I will call it again host discovery for network. Okay. Notice the folder is already set as host discovery because I clicked here and I created the new scan. The IP will be 192.168.78.124. Okay. Uh, as for the schedule, We are limited to one schedule only because this is essential. Otherwise, you have to upgrade. Frequency, once, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Okay. Start at what time? What time zone? Disable. Notification. Now, if you have an SMTP server, okay, you click right here, and then you should see that you could, you have to enter the IP address, the port, where it's coming from, what type of encryption here, SSL or TLS or what, the host name for the email links. You can write down the IP address and the port, and the method of authentication. Okay. Now, for discovery, you have several options: host enumeration, operating system identification, port scan, common ports, or port scan all ports, or custom. So for host enumeration, it will use fast network discovery in the settings. And for the ping host, it will be using TCP, ARP, and ICMP 2 retries. For OS identification, it's almost the same settings, except it's going to focus on discovering the operating system of the target. Now, port scan, we have another options here, like use netstat if credentials are provided, and it will scan common ports, and it will use the SYN scanner as a stealth scanner with the same ping protocol settings here. Port scan, all ports, okay, it will use the same, almost the same settings, but it's going to scan every port in the IP, which is a lot. For custom scan, you have to go host discovery and select if you want to ping the remote host. If you want to test the local Nessus host, you can uncheck the box. You want to use fast network discovery to see if a host responds to ping. Nessus attempts to avoid false positive, okay, which is something good. Okay, basically, it's because it will perform additional tests to verify the response did not come from a proxy or load balancer. And the ping methods, do you want to use ARP or what? You could select and choose whatever you want. Destination port built in, or you could select from 1 to 1024 as an example. You want to use ICMP or UDP. Now here, there's also another option for fragile devices like scan network printers. I prefer not to do that because it might cause some issues here. So for the discovery, I'm gonna set it as OS identification. Now for report, here I have allow users to edit scan results. For the output, I usually keep it as is. I will not make any changes to it. Advanced. Now here for the performance option, okay, if I select slow down the scan when network congestion is detected, this option is useful when you are working in an environment where employees are using the network and you do not want to cause any DOS attack against them. For network timeout in seconds, okay, I'll keep it the default because network is small. If it's a large network, you probably need to increase it. For the maximum simultaneous hospital scan, if it's large network, yes. Mine is a small network, so it doesn't make any difference. Maximum number of concurrent TCP sessions per host, okay? You could set that, okay? Doesn't make any difference in my case here, okay? Because I have a small network, okay? Now, the maximum number of concurrent TCP session, this means the maximum number of TCP connection your target can handle at one time. Now here, there's also another option if you want to, concerning Unix and Windows, like if you want exclude file path for Unix, And the same thing for Windows. If you want to exclude file system for Unix, and if you want to include file path for Unix find command, or if you want to include file path for Windows. Just make sure that you select, oh, sorry, you type in the right folder here. Okay. Now, this is for the performance. Okay. Save, post discovery. So now we're ready. So we launch the scan. This might take some time, so I'm gonna pause and come back when it finishes. Okay, so right now we could see that the scan is finished. So I'm gonna click here. I could see that the results show me that there's operating system. Uh, this is my Mac. This is the Linux kernel 2.6. And remember the reason why, because I have selected the range. Now, vulnerabilities, there's no vulnerabilities here because this is just a host discovery. It will just give you information about the Nessus scan information, OS identification, and ping the remote host. Okay? And this is the history. Now, let's look at the Linux. Let me just go back to the, you see that the IP information, and here's the ports. Okay? Now, for the OS identification, very detailed information. You could see that the description here, uh, it used combination of remote probes, you know, uh, to provide us with detailed information about the operating system. And here you can see the final result is the remote host is running Linux kernel 2.6 on Ubuntu 8.04. Now, uh, go back to vulnerabilities and the ping remote host. Okay, so here you can see the host view output for all hosts. I don't have so many. And here you can see that in the description, Nessus was able to determine if the remote host is live using one or more of the following ping: ARB ping, ICMP ping, TCP, and UDP as well. And we know for sure that the host is up and running, and that's the MAC address for it. Okay, so it's just simple information here. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, you will see the scan details. The policy is just a host discovery. The status is completed. Okay. The severity base is there's not much information. Again, because this is host discovery, no vulnerability detection is required. And as a reminder, CVSS is a common vulnerability scoring system. V3 it's a standardized system for rating the severity of the security vulnerabilities. Remember that the CVSS uses score between 0 to 10, with the higher means greater severity, the start, the end, and how long it took. Okay. Okay. Now, if you click on the configure, it will take you to the configuration. I made a wrong spelling. Okay. Now, cancel. If you want, you could launch the default. You could launch the custom. Here's the report, HTML format, generate report. And here's the generation on the output. You could see that it's very limited in information in the essential. You see essential here. Okay. And going back to host discovery. And that's it for host discovery. Now I want to go back to the main page. Okay. So I'll be doing additional Nessus video tutorial I will look into the advanced scan and web application test. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. By subscribing, you will be notified when I release new videos. Thank you so much for watching.